Happy afternoon, children. A warm welcome to you all to today's session of English. How are you all? Are you enjoying the classes which is being sent to you? And do you do your daily homeworks? Are you being regular in your work? Try to be regular, children. This is the only platform through which we could get connected. Make use of the time. Utilize the opportunity which is given for you and do your works regularly. If you are going to be regular, no one can stop you. There is a famous quote actually. Nothing can stop learning if you are determined. Try to remember that during this time and be regular in your work. As you are in your 9th standard now, hardly 7 months or 8 months left out. You will be in your class 10, whereas you have to be prompt in your duties to be yourself in 10th standard. See to that and do your works regularly. Shall we start with today's session then? To start with today's session, what is the lesson we have completed? We have completed prose lesson 4. The title of the lesson is A Truly Beautiful Mind, and it is a lesson about a famous scientist and physicist, Albert Einstein. In previous class, we were seeing book back exercises, and I gave you a test from the 8 points of the lesson. Few of you have posted me the marks regarding your answers, and I did not receive answers from many people about your marks. I don't know what makes you to be irregular. It is a very small test which you are going to take it for 30 minutes. That test is being conducted to check your understanding level and how far you are doing the work. If you fail to do that, no one can help you, children. So try to be regular, do the work given the right time and post it to the teachers. Shall we continue with the book back exercise then? Okay, we are going to continue with the book back exercises. Let us start with the book back exercises. We have completed some of the exercises which is there in your book back, and now we are in page number 52, where we are going to see the grammar part. Whenever you attend classes from the grammar part, you have to be more attentive. It is a session of 15 minutes and you'll have next part for 15 minutes. Don't get diverted, don't get deviated. See to that you listen to the session carefully and you get to know things what the teacher is telling you. Is it clear for everyone? Sit with your textbook and see what ma'am is going to tell you. And today's work, you are going to write down in your classwork notebook with today's dates. What you are going to do? You are going to write your English work, what I am going to teach you now, with today's dates in your classwork notebook. I am going to handle you a grammar part so that you are going to take notes. Is it clear for everyone? Come to the session now. This is the example which is given in your textbook. Read out the sentence. Come on, read the sentence with me. Einstein became a gifted amateur violinist, maintaining the skill throughout his life. What is the sentence given? Einstein became a gifted amateur violinist, maintaining the skill throughout his life. When you read the sentence, what comes to your mind now? This is a sentence which has 2 parts. One part says that Einstein is an amateur violinist, and the other part talks about his skill. Okay, skill of playing the violin. Now, Einstein became a gifted amateur violinist. Wait a while, children. I'll make things clear for you. Einstein became a gifted amateur violinist, maintaining the skill throughout the life. What is the difference you could find? Listen to the thing. Here, this word became it, and here this word maintaining. Two verbs are here in the sentence. Became is a verb and maintaining is a verb. What is the difference? Okay, become is the present tense, whereas became is the past tense. Maintain is the present verb, and ing is being added to the verb over here. What is being added, children? Ing is being added to the verb. Are you clear with this now? So became is the past tense, and whereas here with the word maintain, ing is added. Now, what I am going to teach you today is the participle form of the verb. Okay, what we are going to see today? Participle form of the verb. Come on, repeat with me. What is the topic we are going to see today? Participle form of the verb. Okay, come on, just brush up your mind and tell me whether you have come across this topic in any of your lower classes. Have you heard the word participle? Yes, we will say like participle is V3 form of verb. You know that verb falls into three categories: V1, V2 and V3. V1 is present form, V2 is past form, and V3 is participle form. Do you know that, children? Yes, you might know that V1 is present form, V2 is past form, and V3 is participle form. Now we are going to see the participle form of the verb. And here I have given you a flowchart which explains verb in two different types. Okay, what are the two different types of verb? Here what you could see in the picture. What is verb first? You all know that verb is an action word. Come on, frame a sentence with this action word. What this boy is doing? He is reading. Okay, the boy reads, or he is reading. How you will frame sentence? The boy reads or he is reading. Come to the next word. Now you can see what is the verb here? Read. Next action. What is the action done by this girl? Yes, what she is doing? She is singing. Okay, what she is doing here? She is singing, or you can say she sings. You can frame the sentence like she is singing or she sings. Am I clear, children? Come to the next thing now. What they are all doing in the park? They are all playing. They play, or you can frame the sentence like they are all playing. So one more action word we have seen. What it is? That's play. Now you know what verb is. What is a verb, children? Verb is an action word. Verb is a word which denotes an action. As you would have read it in your lower classes, the action words like dance, sing, jump, run, walk, read, all this comes under action verbs. Here I have given you some example as read, sing, play. Are you clear with these things, children? Okay. Now, as I told you, what we are going to see now? Two forms of verbs. One is the finite form of the verb, and the other one is the non-finite form of the verb. What we are going to see today? Finite form of the verb and non-finite form of the verb. These are the two things we have to see like an introduction. Followed by that, we will get into some of the exercises. Now, this is not the new thing to you. If you are going to recall the classes of your 8th standard, in 8th standard, I taught you what is finite verb and non-finite verb. Did I teach you, children? Yes, I taught you what is the difference between finite verb and non-finite verb. Did you remember the thing which I taught you? What is the difference between finite verb and non-finite verb? Are you able to recollect things what I have taught you? Okay. Now I give you examples of finite verb. How a finite verb will be? Finite verb is the main verb which has actions. What it has, children? It has actions. How will you define finite verb? Finite verb is a main verb. How will you define finite verb, children? Finite verb is a main verb which includes the action words read, sing, play. So here I have given you some examples of finite verb. Then how a non-finite verb will be? Is there any idea? Last year I wrote it even in the board how a non-finite verb will be. I asked you to take it in your English textbook. If you have your last year English textbook, you can just turn the pages and refer. Yes, I have made you take notes what is finite verb and what is non-finite verb. If I am right, I asked you to write it in your classwork notebook also. Some of you were writing it in your classwork notebook with pencil. What is the difference between finite verb and non-finite verb? You are clear with finite verb now. Finite verb are main verbs which represents the actions like read, sing and play. Now we are going to see what is non-finite verb. Is there any idea, children, what is non-finite verb? Okay, we will see some examples of non-finite verb. This participle, see this E, it went down, children. You can make a change over here. Participle, okay, participle is called, it comes under non-finite verbs. Where this participle can be placed? It can be placed under the non-finite verbs. The title which we are going to see today, participle, it can be placed under non-finite verbs. And we are going to see now what is non-finite verbs. Non-finite verb can be, I'll give you some examples of non-finite verbs and how it will be. Okay, gerund, non-finite verb can be a gerund or it will be in a form of an infinitive verb. Okay, it will be in a form of an infinitive verb. Make a note of it, children. Or it will be in a form of a participle, either present participle or you can see that it will be past participle. And here you will have a confusion. Ma'am, you are saying that gerund also comes under non-finite verbs and participle also comes under non-finite verb. Whereas present participle we are having ing, the same ing, ma'am. And here in gerund form also we are having the same ing, ma'am. How we could differentiate then? Here, if you are going to listen the session carefully, you will be able to note down the differences. Underline this word gerund and make a note of it. Noun. Sometimes this gerund verb will act as a noun. What it will act like? It will act like a noun. Whereas present participle will take place as an adjective. How it will take place? It will take place as an adjective. When you see that verb plays the role of an adjective, then it is called present participle. What it is called, children? It is called present participle. Okay, are you clear with this? Gerund comes under the main verb, whereas the main verb will be in noun form. And this present participle, it comes under the adjective form. It will take place of an adjective form. Are you clear with this? So these are the things which comes under the non-finite verbs. Are you clear with non-finite verbs now? Come on, if I am going to ask you, name some non-finite verbs, you have to say, ma'am, gerund, infinitive and participle will come under non-finite verbs. How a gerund will be? Gerund will have verb plus ing. Infinitive, to plus verb. And participle, how a participle will be? Present participle or past participle. You all know that present participle, verb plus ing, it will be in the adjective form. Whereas past participle, you know that ed, V3 form. We used to say it like V3 form. So these three forms will come under non-finite verbs. Verb plus ing, to plus verb and present participle or past participle form of it. Are you clear with non-finite verbs? What is called non-finite verbs now? Non-finite verbs can be participle, and this non-finite verbs has three varieties of verbs in it. Are you clear with this thing?